Now, let's be cross-examine what's going on now, right? Every second person is saying Nizamuddin and Shura. Right? The question is coming quite hot. It becomes a fitna because someone is saying all Muslims are all right, Jordan, everybody. But I ask you now, who's making this statement here? Is it basing it on ilm, on pure proof, or is it making those statements? If it's basing it on ilm, that you wouldn't have made this type of a statement. You see, why you want to make this type of a statement? Because if it's true in what he's saying, then there are a lot of splinter Muslim groups. There's a Barelvi group, right? There's a Bidati group, right? There's a Salafi group. There's a Shia group, right? Right? So there's so many groups now. So, and then there's a modernist group. You're getting a Jusa group, right? So many groups you're getting. So, are you going to allow all of these people, based on the fact that they call themselves Muslims, are you going to allow them to be sitting on the minbar and delivering talks and say, no, well, we have made sure that these people will just talk within parameters of 6 points or non-controversial issues? We'll say that, they're going to speak only about non-controversial issues, so we'll allow them, the minbar, to deliver a Jummah, pre-Jummah talk. Will you allow that? Then the question will be, all right, then why do you allow one and why don't you allow the other? They're speaking on non-controversial issues. They're speaking about love and muhabbat, about namaz, about being true to Allah Ta'ala. So then why are you allowing one and why are you not allowing the other? You put them within parameters. There'll be such major ramifications, consequences that you won't be able to manage. Now last week, the Pope was in Jakarta, right? And they allowed him to give the pre-Jummah talk. Non-controversial, all must live together with muhabbat. And then the Imam of the largest mosque in Jakarta, he went and kissed the hand in front of everybody. So now, I ask you, does it leave the audience in state of confusion or not? So we all love each other, respect, love, don't fight. So doesn't it open the gateways to interfaith? Doesn't it leave the public in state of confusion, in a total state of disarray? Huh? So now, we'll have to see these groups, right? And you have to screen them before you put them onto the minbar. Right? Understand how it works, right? It works like this. You say that you are a Hanafi, right? That Ya is for Nisbat. What? That Ya is for Nisbat. That Ya that comes in Hanafi, right? Nisbat means you attribute yourself. So if you are following Imam Shafi, rahmatullah, do you say you are Hanafi? Do you say that? You don't say it. The Imam that you're following, so you attribute yourself to that Imam. If you are following, for example, the Deobandi school of thought, then you say, I follow the Deobandi school of thought. Don't you say that? If you say that you're a Shia, then you say I am a Shi. Don't you say that? If you are following the Ahl Hadith, you say I'm Salafi. Don't you say that? So the Ya is for attribution. Now if you say that you're following, say, Nizamuddin, right? That means you are following the present Nizamuddin and you are carrying the thought of the present Nizamuddin. As it stands today, that's what it. So no, I'm only speaking with the 6 points. Then the Shia can say the same thing, the Salafi can say the same thing, the Jusa can say the same thing. Then why do you move them out? If you can call this person, why do you move this person out? Is your rating right? Is it fair? Now you look at the statements that he made. See, as recorded, his statements are recorded and also translated. So his original words and, so now look at his words, right? He says, one place he says, Hidayat is not in the hands of Allah Ta'ala, as we think. It's in our hands. So he's moved out Allah Ta'ala, now we became even greater than Allah Ta'ala. Well, Allah says, وَلَكِنَّ اللَّهَ يَهْدِي مَنْ يَشَاءُ. Hidayat is in my hands. I give it. مَنْ يُضْلِلِ اللَّهُ فَلَا هَادِيَ لَهُ. وَمَنْ يَهْدِ اللَّهُ فَلَا مُضِلَّ لَهُ. See that? And now he shifted the whole thing, the whole goalpost, that hidayat is in our hands, not in the hands of Allah Ta'ala. So sometimes you begin to feel that, is he talking on the platform of Islam or some other platform? Right. Then he goes on to say, I heard this tape today, again, I heard it again previously, but it was just verified. Then he says that all right. The Sahaba Kiram, radiyallahu anhum, they left Dawat and Khilafat ke chakkar mein pad gaye. What? Rasul passed away. So they left Dawat now and they fell into the whole, arranging the whole Khilafat. Now, is this not a slander, an attack on the personalities of the Sahaba Kiram? Is it not an attack? So you removed Allah Ta'ala, now you got the Sahaba Kiram and you smashed them down. How you smashed them down? Because they're supposed to be engaging in Dawat. And because they left out the Dawat and they went into Khilafat, so there was so much of irtidad. So that means all the Sahaba Kiram didn't understand religion. Today this man came up and he is now showing the true version of Islam. These were exactly the statements that was made by Maududi. Smash down Sahaba Kiram, everybody. Treat me as the revivalist of the century. He's doing the same thing. Take me, consider me as the revivalist. But you can only make me the revivalist if you smash these personalities down. So they didn't know Deen. Whereas Dawat means to give direction, right? To give direction. And direction, right, has to be appropriate to the occasion. Now again he says that the Dawat must be done only in the masjid. What? The Dawat must be done only in the masjid. Yahya alayhi salam, this is a hadith, we know that, right? But now, how can you restrict the Dawat to the masjid? Rasulullah is giving direction at all times of his life. Sometimes at the bazaar. And he saw someone selling wheat, it was not right. And he said, Man ghashana falaysa minna. So where was his Dawat? In the masjid or in the bazaar? Sometimes it's at home and the family needs a little bit of a direction, right? So, Inna Allah la yu'ti bil rifq ma la yu'ti bil unf. So where it's given at the house. So the direction sometimes is given on the planes of jihad. Making jihad and someone is not doing it correctly, so Rasul is correcting him there. Somebody is making wuzu and not doing the wuzu right. Asbighul wudu waylul lil aqabi min an-nar. He's correcting him. Obviously the wuzu is outside the masjid. And to top it all, I ask you that the azan is called, right? Azan is called. Mainly is directed at the people inside the masjid or calling the people. Now from now they must give azan only in the masjid because dawat is supposed to be in the masjid. And that dawat is called da'watul tamma, the complete, perfect dawat. And the perfect dawat is outside the masjid. To call the people outside into the masjid. Call them inside and give dawat. Now, he is moved off completely away from the AhluSunnahWaljamaah. Completely away. So he's knocked the Sahaba Kiram. He's moved away Allah Ta'ala. Then he comes to the Ulama Kiram and he says that the salaries that they take is worse than the payment of a prostitute. That means now, Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu had taken a remuneration for his services, right? Famous hadith, he had taken a remuneration, right? So Abu Bakr didn't understand Deen, Umar didn't understand Deen. All the centuries they had been taking something for their services, so they didn't understand Deen. This man comes up now and he understood Deen, he's correcting all these people here. They didn't understand Deen. So the whole consensus of ulama is broken down. Right? Now, someone says that I belong to this group, right? And allow him the masjid because he's talking about the 6 points, no controversial things. But I ask you, when you say I am from Nizamuddin, whose thoughts are you reflecting? If you are a bidati, whose thoughts are you reflecting? If you are a Brahmi, whose thoughts are you reflecting? If you are Salafi, whose thoughts are you reflecting? So same exactly here. If you are a Deobandi, then whose thoughts are you reflecting? Otherwise, then don't call yourself, if you're not reflecting those thoughts, then don't call yourself a person from Nizamuddin, a person from the Tabligh. Don't call yourself. Say, no, I don't belong to these groups. There's a different thing. We look at you differently. But you say, I belong to this, and then you're using this platform here, then what's the impression that's created? See how difficult it makes it. So this is now the 15. Either you don't know what it is all about, and you just jumped into it. You didn't research it, you don't know what it is all about, or you're taking a side without understanding. Can you see this? Without understanding, you're taking a side. I ask you, aren't you a victim of fitna then? Aren't you a victim of fitna? Obviously you're going to be a victim of fitna because you didn't understand the whole thing and you just picked a side. Allow everybody. So I said, then why don't you allow a Salafi, a Shia, a Qadiani? They're all speaking non-controversial thing. In Jakarta, they called the Pope to give the pre-Jummah talk. And the Imam was there to kiss his hand. He's talking on unity and Muhabbat. So when you're attributing yourself, then there's a reason why you attribute yourself. Otherwise, don't attribute yourself. Because it creates a wrong impression. When this wrong impression was created, the Nabi Sallallahu made it clear, Adi Safiya. This is my wife Safiya. Don't you have any wrong impressions of this woman here? This is my wife. Why did Nabi Sallallahu have to go and clear it up that this is Safiya? Why? So that there must be no doubts lingering in the minds. Sahaba Ikram, they couldn't have any doubts about Nabi Sallallahu himself. But why was the need for Nabi Sallallahu to clear it up that this is Safiya radiyallahu? So you see these doubts, suspicions, etc. That has to be cleared out. For people to understand right, to see right, and for the right application. Allah Bak Tawfiq Nasib.
Allah